Hello? Hello? Okay, here we go. Um, Man, I am very tired today. Man, I am coughing too. I think I breathed in something pretty bad. Maybe it's dust, but my voice is slowly getting deeper because I breathed in something pretty bad. I think it's, yeah, like I said, dust. That's a common thing. It's a pretty common thing. I'm gonna go on radar scope first. I'm gonna take a look at New Mexico right now. This is just gonna be a quick update. Good evening, everyone, or good night for those who are about to go to sleep here soon. Today we're going to be talking about the severe weather that's about to occur the next couple of days, including the next week or two, because we have a lot of updates we're going to cover here. Definitely want to point out, we're going to talk about the severe weather that's ongoing right now first, and then we're going to look at what the future is going to look like and stuff like that. So here I'm on radar scope right now. Right now, New Mexico, they did have some sort of a couple severe thunderstorm warnings. Nothing too crazy, nothing too weird. But there was a thunderstorm that was capable of producing a tornado. There were some pics of the lowering, but I don't think there was a tornado on the ground. Which honestly, hopefully we don't see any tornadoes in general form in New Mexico, because right now the environment is prone to tornadoes for the next couple of days. So yeah, here's today's event. I did expect it to not really be that bad. It's right now, it is a marginal risk. Basically, this is what a marginal risk would look like in New Mexico. So yeah, definitely some storms right here ongoing. Some are producing some hail and gusty winds right now. So, which is, I mean, to be fair, I don't think there's going to be much going on. Hello, Clint. Just giving an update on New Mexico and what's about to occur the next couple of days. So right now, today it's probably just the start of the severe weather that's about to occur in New Mexico today, and then tomorrow it's another round, and then Sunday it's going to be another round once again. Well, Sunday will be the last round for severe weather in New Mexico. Then that trough will leave us alone and not cause us any problems. So there's a couple of chasers out here in New Mexico. Some of them actually don't want to risk going, which I don't blame them for. I'm not going either. So yeah, Rodoso. Oh, there it is. I think you're okay. I think you're fine. Until maybe tomorrow if you're out driving. So yeah, I would be weather wearing just in case for the next 2 days if you do get a storm or two in your area. So yeah, but we're gonna check the models here. We're gonna look at we're gonna look at the short range models here really quick. Let's look at our HRRR model. Let's zoom in on that in New Mexico real quick, see what the future looks like. Let's look at our composite reflectivity. So here it is. This is Friday. Friday's event is pretty much over with. We don't have to worry about that anymore, for now at least. And then once it goes to midnight, you can see some morning convection occurring, and that might slowly go away. But then later on, you got some cells firing off again in New Mexico. Texas, am I drive back? What? Are you saying, are you safe to drive back to Texas? tomorrow. If you leave at like around like 9 a.m. or something like that, I would probably, I mean, I wouldn't worry too much in my opinion, because these severe weather threats are pretty low. But if you end up leaving at the exact time the storms do fire and you see one coming at you, I would try to be careful. But I don't see anything significant with this, so I think you'll be okay driving out in like 50-mile-per-hour winds above the ground, when in reality it's 30. So I wouldn't get too scared. It's just a marginal risk. But what the HRR is putting out is you got some beefy cells occurring in New Mexico, some capable of producing a isolated tornado or two if the environment's great. And then that will slowly diminish into a line of storms, maybe a windstorm later in tonight, and then boom, just dies out completely. For Sunday, does show some isolated cells once again, but that's probably going to be the final round. But you can see some cells capable of producing possibly some tornadoes, but again, we don't exactly know if it's going to do tornado, if it's going to tornado or not. If you take a look at our significant tornado parameters, the greater the STPs, the likelihood of tornadoes, but I'm talking about in general. So here's Saturday. STPs don't appear as high really, but I wouldn't rule out an isolated tornado. And then Sunday, a little bit higher than usual, but I think most storms will possibly be down here. But we'll never know we'll see what the HWR has to say about tomorrow and see what Sunday looks like. If it uptrends, Sunday could get upgraded to a slight risk, which I'll be talking about the outlooks in a moment here. But we're going to take a look at the other models. Let's look at our supercell composites. Definitely not bad supercell composites. A decent tornado threat could occur with New Mexico on Sunday if it verifies. For Saturday, not as impressive in my opinion, but it still has a chance for some tornado activity to occur somewhere. I don't know what it's going to be. But whoever is storm chasing, I wish them luck. I really do. Man, HRR wants to go haywire over here in this area in New Mexico. So yeah, that's pretty much it. Let's look at the other models like the NAM3K. Usually they kind of suck when it comes to forecasting, or modeling. But yeah, this is what it looks like for the NAM3K. Nothing too crazy. The RRFSA model. Let's look at Saturdays. Man, Saturday looks pretty dang. If the RRFS verifies like this, you could see more beefy cells in New Mexico. And they continue to do that until like 9, 10 p.m. where they become a line of a mess. But the RRFSA model, the new update just came out, so this is definitely going to be an interesting look. But the STPs aren't that high, so the tornado threat appears a little less, but it's not. It's still non-zero. It's still there, but the tornado threat is super low. I don't really expect much to happen. We could end up seeing a funnel cloud or two, if possible, in New Mexico, but other than that, I don't see much. All right, let's talk about, since we're seeing the new GFS model run come out, which is 96 hours out, we're going to talk about our SPC outlooks, which I think that is pretty important to talk about. If you're now just tuning in, make sure to leave a like, and it will definitely help out the stream a lot. I do. By the way, an update on storm chasing the New Mexico event. I'm not going. It's too much of a risk. Plus, this event looks really very, very low. It doesn't appear to be very favorable. The reason why I'm not going is because the lapse rates are not that good. They really suck. And but yeah. Anyways, here's our thread for today. I think this is just over with and done. Nothing too crazy. This is basically a high end marginal risk. We got like a low end thread for all severe hazards possible. Basically, it's done with. Same thing for tomorrow, but it's a little bit. It stretches into Texas. Another marginal risk for severe weather. Again, got a 2 to 4% chance of a tornado. Basically, a tornado is possible tomorrow. Wind and hail definitely the main hazards for tomorrow. I would not be surprised if we do see maybe a slight risk into hail. I would not rule that out, but definitely something to keep an eye on Saturday. Let's look at day 3. I mean, it doesn't load like the pivotal doesn't do like something like this, but there is a marginal risk issued somewhere. I think I should go on the Storm Prediction Center website. I think I should have done that earlier. No, this is the wrong one. Here it is. All right, so here's our day 3. Marginal risk once again in New Mexico. That's basically the final round before this trough just goes away and leaves us alone. So yeah. All right, we're gonna check the GFS. So we are 102 hours out. So we're gonna check the 00Z anyway because it's pretty interesting to look at. So here's our trough right here. Definitely trying to. It's right now a little bit positively tilted. That means I don't think that's why there was not a lot of severe weather or not a lot of storms firing. But once we go into tomorrow or Saturday, it starts to tilt a little bit. It starts to tilt a little bit like this, basically meaning it's going to be neutrally tilted in a way in New Mexico, which might spark some interesting supercells that can occur in that area. And then on Sunday, it becomes negatively tilted, which is actually pretty interesting to look at because, I mean, Sunday looks a little bit better when it comes to troughs like this and tilting like that, but apparently some short-range models just disagree with showing like a certain amount of supercells, and they think Saturday might be the favorable day. It becomes a cutoff low though. It's a cutoff low from the jet stream, and then after that, we'll now rule out some severe weather occurring in Kansas. I do see that occurring with that. Low-level jet's pretty decent. And then that will just leave us alone and die off completely in the east. So definitely, I wouldn't rule out like a marginal risk for Kansas. I do see that as a threat. Let's look at our Cape real quick on Kansas, because I want to talk about that. So yeah, in Kansas or in Oklahoma, we got Cape values in the 1000s, which is actually pretty good. Does show some severe, but the tornado threat might not exist in Kansas or Oklahoma. I do see like a hail and maybe a hail and wind threat out of Kansas. But then again, we don't know exactly what will happen. Okay, so yeah, that's pretty much it. We're going to look at the 18Z GFS. We're still going to look at the 00Z once we get a fully updated version of it. We're going to take a look at what's going to happen. So that trough goes away, and then here is the rest of here's next week. We're definitely going to be quiet next week. Definitely going to experience some sort of ridging occurring in the somewhere and with a little bit of zonal flow. And then once we get into near Halloween, that's where we need to watch very closely, because we are in fall tornado season and we could see troughs so far out. That's like 264 hours out. We could see this. We could end up seeing this into like a troublemaker. that could occur in the U.S. We could see a severe weather type situation occur somewhere in the Midwest next week. And my God, that is the most negatively tilted trough I've ever seen. But it looks a little linear over here in like South Dakota, Nebraska, maybe to Iowa too. But the exact timing on this trough and everything is just super uncertain because this is way far out. We are like at 288 hours out, and we do not know exactly if this is going to happen. So yeah, Dallas, Texas, you guys are. I mean, Dallas is going to be fine. They're not going to experience much really. They're probably experiencing nothing at all. So yeah, Dallas, Texas is okay. But yeah, look at this trough right here. That is pretty concerning, but at the same time, very uncertain. If the GFS does end up continuing to show this by like the 23rd, 24th, then this could be a sign we could end up seeing something. So that's why I'm a little bit skeptic. I'm pretty skeptic about this. I don't know if this is going to happen, but we're going to have to find out. God, that little jet's really, I think what this is going to be, it's probably going to be like it's definitely going to be about, I'd say discrete first, then linear, which does, and I mean, this looks pretty concerning. And you got yet another trough occurring because of, it's fall tornado season. So yeah, this is, like I said, don't think that this is going to happen. It's not going to. But I'll probably update this if we do continue to see this trend. Definitely going to have our eyes and ears open on this. Probably we'll do another live stream like this and see what happens next week if we do end up seeing this trend a little bit. But yeah, 102, almost 300 hours out. Yeah, and this is October 31st. Let's look at our 12Z. Does it look even better? Or did it look a little better? Let's see real quick. Does not look, it looks a little weaker. Right now, it's all over the place with this. We could end up seeing like either something or I don't know. We'll see what happens. And yeah, 300 hours out, absolutely not as well. I'm not going to say this is going to be a severe weather outbreak because this can end up getting, poof, it just gets deleted immediately. And this one too, this trough, boop, deleted. Okay. All right. Sorry, I was checking Twitter. Let's see if there's any more updates. Yeah, there's a little bit. We're getting further and further into the into October. So I'm still waiting. I am still waiting on what's going to happen. Let's check the European. I don't think it goes out that far. No, it does not. We go out to the 12Z apparently. All right, let's look at our temperature outlooks. We do, everyone is going to be above average. Even Washington, a little bit of Washington's getting affected, but half of it's going to be colder. A lot over here, if you're like in the middle of the Great Plains, it's going to be a lot warmer than usual. 8 to 14, same thing. Everyone's going to be warm, except for Washington and Oregon and Idaho, definitely going to be a lot cooler. Here's our, here's our precipitation outlook. A lot of us being in the drought, a lot of us experiencing some drier conditions while the Northwest is getting some cooler and rainy conditions. Did my website just crash? If it crashed, I swear to God. Oh, what? Okay, never mind. Here's our 8 to 14 precipitation outlook. Looks a bit more, looks a little rainy. for the next 8 to 14 days, where our possible large storm or trough coming in, which could end up sparking some interest in severe weather. But we don't know the exact details on this at all, so I don't know what's going to happen. And here's our National Weather Service hazards. Here's our hazards. Definitely a little bit quieter, but if you're in the West, definitely a little bit active with like freeze warnings, winter weather, and stuff like that. Even red flag warnings, California. I thought the CFS. I want to check the CFS real quick. Oh wow. Oh yeah, the CFS is printing out. The CFS is printing out something. And another one, and another one, and another one. Okay, CFS is on crack. So this goes way, wow, okay. CFS is, yeah, I don't trust the CFS that much. Sometimes the CFS is mostly wrong, but they are very accurate when it comes to going that far out. And I'll have to admit, let's look at our wind shear. This is where our wind shear is going to be at. So in New Mexico, some decent wind shear that's occurring, and then that goes away. Let's look at our big time trough that's about to occur soon. Look at that. You can see some low-level jet winds occurring with this. Kansas, Iowa. Wow, Iowa getting freaking hammered by something over here. Possibly our storms. 40 knots, 45. Yeah, this is pretty interesting to look at. So Iowa, Kansas, Nebraska, maybe Minnesota, maybe Missouri. Right now, the timing and stuff is super uncertain. Let's look at our moisture on this. We could see moisture just crank. And the reason why I'm the reason why I'm talking about this certain trough that's so far out, because we're in fall tornado season, and we're probably going to see more of these bad boys come in so far out with these models. And my goodness, that Iowa experiencing an interesting dry line here. Like right here, this is Des Moines. That's other side, man, 35. That's pretty dry. Let's look at Des Moines real quick. Let's look at the sounding. Oh, it's pretty bad. Oh, Missouri doesn't look as bad. Well, usually the soundings out here, usually the soundings on the GFS is pretty bad. Like it's really not that accurate at all. Interesting. So yeah, very interesting dry line occurring somewhere. And you got moisture building up in Louisiana to like the 70s, which is pretty dang moist. All right, let's see if we can go that far out yet. Nope, cannot. We can go to October 25th apparently. That's how far out we can go. Man, I want this to load quicker so I can check it. I don't know what, let's see. Oh, let's look at our hurricane. Let's look at our hurricane track. All right, so we have some tropical activity occurring in the Caribbean right now. So here's our 7-day. We got potential tropical cyclone 15, which could end up becoming a tropical storm here. Here in I think it's Nadine. Is it Nadine? I think so. And then you got a low that might not develop as much as we thought. Honestly, thankfully, we're not going to deal with that. We got potential tropical cyclone 15. Definitely expected to be a tropical storm. It's probably going to produce heavy rainfall in like close to like Mexico, Guatemala, stuff like that, other countries like that. So it will cause its own problems, but it's expected to go across into the Pacific Ocean, which could end up intensifying it. or it could intensify, but at the same time, it might not. Who knows? And yeah, this is what 15 looks like on the satellite view. Here's what 30% looks like. It just looks like a bubbling tower of storms. And you got this right here, 30 knots, 35 miles per hour. It's moving at 8 miles per hour, which is actually pretty slow. Thankfully not a very concerning, thankfully not a hurricane. Otherwise, this would have been a very tragic, or it won't be as tragic if it's a category 1, but still will cause damage. Hurricanes need to be taken seriously anyway. I don't have much to say, honestly, because I want to give out an update, but I'll probably post an update on this next GFS, or the next GFS update. I'll definitely post on Twitter. Anyways, I'm going to head out. This is just a quick, brief update.